What's going on, YouTube? This is Ribo at the bench. Fall is finally breaking here in the Carolinas, and the weather's beautiful. Birds are chirping, and I thought I would do something a little bit different today to celebrate. So this is my first pin review. This is the Machine Era Markup. Machine Era is kind of famous for the Machine Era Classic that came out several years ago. Got a lot of love from pin nerds and EDC guys, and honestly I wanted one, but it didn't have a pocket clip, and I carry my pin on the inside, clipped kind of between the buttons on my shirt, and so something without a clip is just not practical, and I knew that over time I just wouldn't use it. So when this was announced, I was very excited to see something with a pocket clip, and so I've been carrying this for a while. Thought I would share some thoughts. So disclaimer before I get started, actually two disclaimers. Number one, there's some construction noise on our street. I apologize. Hopefully it's not going to be too distracting. And number two, I am not a pin nerd. I am not a pin reviewer. I know next to nothing about pins except for if I like it or I don't like it. The Pilot G2 has been my favorite pin since I was a kid. I have owned many of them, have carried them for years. So that's really what I'm comparing it to. I don't care about any other pin. I just don't. This is not going to be the start of some big pin review section on my channel. I don't have an interest in pins. I love the Pilot G2, and I love a good everyday carry tool. So if this is it, this is going to be it. And so I don't know the intricacies of pin reviews. I'm just going to give my thoughts. There you go. By now, if you're watching my videos and you don't like them, that's on you. Sorry, I'm a scrub. All right, so Machine Era Markup. So in the package, you get this cool little whatever insert tube thingy. You get a Schmidt fine liner, which I know a lot of people really like this refill. I have never used it, don't really intend to, so there you go. Like I said, I am a Pilot G2 guy. And then you get the pin, obviously. So you have a brass pin here, and you can see the line right here indicating this is where you unscrew it. You can see the threads right here. So that means that if I take the cap off of here, I am able to add it to the back of the pin. And that looked a lot more difficult on camera just because I'm not looking at the pin, I'm looking through the lens. So I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But there you go. So you have a very simple, understated, but very classic looking pin. You have all brass construction except for the pocket clip, which is some kind of stainless steel. And then everything else is brass. And that's a Pilot G2 refill. Go ahead and show you that right now. You unthread it right here, which is very nice. You don't even see those threads or even a line until you start unscrewing it. And then you have your Pilot G2. So there you go. And if I can do this on camera, clearly I cannot. There you go. All right, so let me close this back up and we'll do some size comparisons. First, let's do weight. So like I said, I'm a Pilot G2 guy, so let's compare the two. This is a brass pin, so that means this is not a lightweight pin at all. This is a fairly heavy pin, 1.6 ounces compared to the G2 at 0.3. So you're looking at 1.3 ounce difference between the two, which when you're reviewing knives is, it matters, but it's not as big of a difference. When you're reviewing pins, that is a huge difference. Over an ounce difference in a pin is very, very noticeable. This is a chunky pin. It is very heavy. That's because it's all brass. And so it's definitely one that you're going to notice in the pocket, whereas this one you may not, or you will not, because it's super light. So you can see size comparison between the two. This is when they're closed, and then when you open this guy, oh, again, failing to do this on camera. There we go. When you open this guy, and hey, I'll open this guy too, you've got pretty much the same length. You've got a little bit longer in the Machine Era here, but pretty much the same, which is really nice. And then in the pocket, I'll just go ahead and try to torture myself by doing this as many times as I can. You got your Dragonfly 2 and your Burt's Bees chapstick, which is a standard in my pocket. All right, so rundown of this pen real quick. Really no markings except for the logo right there. Machine Era USA. Not easy to notice, which is very nice, but a nice little detail. You have your threads here to add the cap. You have your pocket clip, which is some kind of steel, and then all brass construction. And you can see that very nice threading, just a single line there to indicate that's where you would open it up. Very easy threading and nice brass front on here. And you have nice threading back here as well. And very, very smooth for what it is. All right, so what do I like about this pen? Well, to be honest, the aesthetics. So there's really only two reasons, in my opinion, why you would spend this amount of money on a pen. This is like a $45 pen, which is, I can't believe I'm saying that I spent that on a pen. But one is the improvement in writing and the feel of writing. So that's obviously a big one. And number two is just the aesthetics and, something that you're going to pull out in an office setting and it's going to be a little bit nicer, something that you can have for a long time and refill it. And that's what kept me from buying a pen like this for a long time, because I just thought, if I can't get a refill for it, I'm not going to use it over time. But when this accepts a Pilot G2 that you can get anywhere and have been able to for a long time, no issues there at all. So aesthetically, I think it's a very nice looking pen. Honestly, I was a little bit turned off by it when I saw the pictures online, and that's because the pictures online and the pictures that you're going to see of a brand new brass pen are very, very shiny. It looked too dressy and formal for me. I'm not a dressy and formal guy. And so I was a little bit turned off. The Machine Era Classic had the texturing on here. It just looked cooler. And I thought that this was going to just look too boardroomish, if that makes sense. But the thing is, especially down south, it's humid outside, you're sweating and whatnot, and this thing picks up patina fairly quickly. You can actually see where it has not picked up patina underneath the pocket clip here, which is kind of cool. But this picks up patina very quickly. It looks pretty rugged, and it looks, much older than it is, which I think is pretty cool, especially when you started with a brand new, very shiny brass pen. So aesthetically, it's very nice. It's understated, it's classic, it's really nothing that you don't need and just what you do need. It's not gonna draw too much attention, but it does look very professional. It looks very, very nice, and I think that's a really cool thing. Other things I like, the threading on this pen, even though you may not believe me since I've failed miserably at this on camera, the threading is very nice. It's very, very rare that I have to back thread it all. Typically, I just start threading and it threads very easily. There's even times where I've been able to kind of do like one of these numbers and it goes by itself. It's very, very smooth. Something I was worried about, especially because brass picks up this patina and kind of corrodes. I was worried about those threads corroding. But I've carried this for at least a month, if not longer, maybe 2 months, and I've had no issues. It still feels just as smooth as when I got it. Maybe that'll change, maybe not, but if I go like this, well, I just failed again. It locks up very tight and no issues there. So it is a joy to open and close, which is really cool. Other things I like, it accepts multiple refills, but the Pilot G2 fits absolutely perfectly. It has no play with the nib there. So a lot of times, one of the issues with refillable pens like this, especially ones that accept multiple cartridges, is that you will not fit completely there. So the nib of the refill will be a little bit loose, and as a result, when you're writing, it's just going to feel very shaky. This is absolutely solid, and I guess I should do a writing sample. I'm just going to grab some plans that I was doing to work on our house. And obviously I'm writing on not a smooth surface, but I also have terrible, hello? What does that even say? How about hi? Very, very smooth. It feels very nice, so no issues there. If I sign my name, I can't even do this on camera. All right, that's enough of that. I am not a pen reviewer. I apologize. That was terrible. But here you go. So the writing is very nice. It's very comfortable. The weight adds something. It really does make the experience of writing with this a lot better than an average Pilot G2. The heft really seems to help bear down on the paper, and it makes writing a lot better. Now, my handwriting sucks, and my handwriting is going to suck no matter what pen I use, but it sucks less with this. Can I say that? I probably shouldn't have said that, but there you go. I have enjoyed writing with this. I think that it writes a lot better than an average plastic pen, and so that I really, really like. Other things that I like about this, I like the weight. I think it could be a detractor because it is so heavy, but I do really like it. It reminds me that it's there. It feels like something that is worth more than it is, and it feels like something that's going to last. I don't, worry about dropping this or anything like that. Unless I'm dropping it on my toe or someone else's toe, then I might be a little bit worried because this could do some damage. But other than that, I pretty much like everything about this pin, except for one or two things, and really those relate to the pocket clip. I'm very excited that this has a clip because I can own it and I use it. However, the clip is really not that great. So one, it is very, very shallow. If you compare this to the G2, yeah, I mean, that is so shallow. Dress shirts, no problem. But, in the pocket of your jeans, you're going to have some trouble. There have been many times I've put this in thicker material, and it has a tendency to do that. You have something that's not super strong here. It's very thin material, and it's very shallow there. And so it has a tendency to kind of bow out like this, whereas you can see the room that you have here. This is a great pocket clip. This one, not so much. It serves me just fine just because I do just carry it in a dress shirt. But, for other people who are carrying this in jean pockets or pant pockets, that clip's not really going to be satisfactory. And you're probably just going to want to pop it off and carry it deep in the pocket. The other thing is, because the pocket clip is so thin, because this material is so light, when you clip this into a dress shirt, or if you clip this into a, the pin pocket on your shirt or something like that, it does have a tendency to drag down the material. And I can't really illustrate this on camera, but if you can just imagine you're clipping this into the pocket, the weight of all of this is kind of pulling down, and you don't have anything substantial here grabbing it. And so as a tendency, it can kind of pull at your shirt and just kind of be awkward in that way. And that's not a great thing. Again, it's not that noticeable in a dress shirt, but I think that if this was like a brass pocket clip that came maybe a little further down and was a little bit thicker material, it wouldn't be a problem. And that's really the only gripe that I have with this pin after using it for a while. This pin has been an absolute joy to use. I love it. It's become an everyday carry for me. It's really the only pin I'm going to use. Don't expect any more pin reviews on this channel because this is pretty much it. I wish you could get an upgraded pocket clip, but until it fails me, this will be in the pocket, or I guess clipped to the shirt every day. And so I'm a huge fan. So cutter carry for me, absolute carry. I hope you enjoyed this, and see you later.